If you have questions about what you're hearing today, call Obie at 614-822-6990. 822-6990. Now, once again, here's Obie Stillwell.
Hello, and welcome back to Real Estate Stocks and Jocks. Again, my name is Obie Stillwell. Give me a call with any of your real estate questions, 614-822-6990. That's 614-822-6990. And I am proud to have, excited to have the ambassador, Stacy Elliott, the ambassador, affectionately called the ambassador. I don't know when you get that name, the ambassador, Stacy.
Well, first let me just say I'm happy to be on the show today.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Very honored. David Biddle was the first to refer to me as the ambassador of Buckeye Nation. So,
how long ago was that?
This is probably about 3 years ago. So.
Wow. Now hold on. Now here's the thing. You're from Missouri, play linebacker at Missouri, and to be named the ambassador, be called the ambassador at Ohio State, that had to be a little different, right? A little strange, maybe even a little humbling, a little bit, right?
All of those and above. I just roll with it, you know. So.
That's good. Hey, so some exciting things have happened with you at Ohio State, and you're doing some things with the specific to the football program. Obviously, your son Ezekiel Elliott has had a lot of success at the Ohio State University, and has been able to he was a great representative of the program while he was here, and that your family was someone that was always seemed to be in front of the media, not necessarily something that you guys necessarily signed up for, but just kind of inevitably happened with the national championship run and everything. And I think Urban saw something in you that could help the program. And can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Well, when I met Coach Urban Meyer initially during the recruiting process, we clashed many
really?
times. And what it all boiled down to was a father who was very emotional and who had a vision for his son. And here comes this Urban Meyer guy, and who would change the history of the course that we had for our son and where he would go to college. Not necessarily play football, but where he would go to college, possibly play football.
Right. So as that relationship, grew, what are some of the things that you think he saw in you that would make him want to bring you on staff? Because you're on staff now, and working and helping the program.
Well, my background is in social work. For many years, I was a gang specialist. I worked with youth to turn them from gangs, do gang mediation,
wow,
crisis intervention at homicide, crime scenes. And when I decided to come to Columbus, I continued that profession.
Wow.
Most of my adult life, I've always had a passion in seeing young people develop into great citizens. And when I would go over to the football facility and sit around and watch Coach Urban Meyer throughout the day, I noticed that he spent a lot of time on the development of his student athletes. And I also noticed that he had great compassion and a great desire to see them exceed off the field.
That's good.
So because my passion was similar to his, that started making me look at Coach Meyer in another light, on a whole nother level. And so when families would come through with their sons, on recruiting visits, I would be around, and one time he asked me to speak to them, and I would talk to them, and then one time he asked me to speak to a group of student athletes with their parents and guardians. And so I think maybe he saw, or he sees, the passion in my delivery and in my representation of the program and the university, and he saw that I would be an asset. And what better asset could I not be, having a son come through that program and become one of the greatest players ever put on the scarlet and gray.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's how this relationship developed, but we also, through the years, developed a personal relationship, a friendship. I recognize Coach Urban Meyer as my friend.
Yeah.
And he is a beautiful human being, very humble. And when I first talked to him, the first thing that caught my attention is he spoke in the third person as it related to himself and success with other great men. And it takes a special human being to be that type of, have that type of humbleness when representing themselves, especially when you're trying to sell something to people.
Right. Again, we have Stacy Elliott on the phone, tagline, the ambassador, father of Ezekiel Elliott, and he's now working with the program with the Ohio State University in aspect of recruiting, player development, and just as said, the ambassador. And when and how, we got about 2 minutes left in this segment, but how did Coach Meyer approach you with this position?
Actually, which is interesting, is Coach Meyer has never approached me about the position. We've never even talked about it.
Wow.
Ironically, because what I do for the program, I had been doing voluntarily already. And so I honestly look more at my position as a symbolic position. I mean, yes, I am a part-time employee of the Ohio State University, but I don't make much money, and it's not about money. It's about giving young men and their families an opportunity to be great, to be developed into great human beings, and have an opportunity to get a slice of this American pie.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
So Mark Pantoni, who is the director of player development, recruiting, over the recruiting department, he's the one that mentioned it to me. And, yeah, I'm sure Coach Meyer sanctioned it, but I'm not the only one that came on, too. Josh, oh, man, I don't know why that name's escaped me.
That's
My brother's going to kill me. But I'm not the only parent that came on under the official capacity. And so just an honor. But no, Coach Meyer, we haven't even to this day talked about it.
Wow.
Like, oh, you are, an unofficial member. I mean, once you're a Buckeye, you're always a Buckeye.
You know what, Stacy, you're absolutely right. And I want to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about that because it is instrumental that you have someone like yourself that's a parent in the program. And I think that's one thing that the university, Ohio State University, and Coach Meyer has done more specifically is brought the parents involved. And I know the Perrys, Josh Perry's family, and Jim Perry and Georgette, they have kind of spearheaded the parents group for the athletes. And I think that's so important. So I want to come back, talk a little bit about that. And again, you're listening to Real Estate Stocks and Jocks. My name is Obie Stillwell. Give me a call with any of your real estate questions, 614-822-6990.
Have a topic that you'd like to hear discussed? Call 614-822-6990. It's 822-6990. Now back to more Real Estate Stocks and Jocks with Obie Stillwell.
Hello, and welcome to the fourth quarter. We are here on the phone with former Buckeye Ezekiel Elliott's father, Stacy Elliott. And Stacy, again, thank you so much for being on Real Estate Stocks and Jocks.
It's my honor, my deep honor.
I'm looking. We were kind of talking about the whole parent aspect of the program and how Coach Meyer has brought that in. I have actually been able to witness the reactions that many of the top recruits across the country, their parents have when they meet a Stacy Elliott. And it's funny because a lot of people I think most people can see it, but I really see it. I see the level of humility that you have when these parents want to talk to you, and these parents, I see you taking pictures, signing autographs, and you and I have had a good relationship in the sense that you've come back and you have laughed about this stuff. You're like, Obie, this is amazing to me that people desire to meet me and take a picture with me, and because of what they see that I've instilled in my son, etc. That had to take a little adjusting, right? Am I right?
I mean, it's deeply humbling. It's deeply humbling, and I just give glory to God. And my son now, he's a professional, and he's a young man, and he's learning each day, each week, each month, and each year of this world and how this world operates. I just feel as a parent, I'm just deeply honored and humbled that anyone would want to talk to me, especially if it has something to do with a great quality that they have observed in my son. And oftentimes it's more than what he has done on the football field, and that's what makes me so proud.
Yeah. There's obviously a lot of things that's going on with Zeke since his professional career has happened. We're not going to go too deep into that, but just from a parent's perspective, what type of advice can you give your kid, your child, once they reach that level? That because the NFL it has this pseudo independence, and because there's a lot that's required of you, but there's still a lot of parental guidance that's necessary. Just because they're a millionaire and they're receiving these $1 million checks doesn't mean that the parental guidance disappears. How do you continue to guide someone as they, whether it's the NFL or NBA or what have you, to try to make sure that they are doing the right thing and making the right decisions?
Well, at some point in all of our lives, we've had to go out in the world and test what we have been taught by our parents and our loved ones. I liken it unto a child. You can tell a child not to go by the stove because it is hot. But sometimes the child will not take what you have said to them as truth and want to test it out themselves. And they have to touch the stove to be reinforced on what you taught them.
Right.
The best advice I could give parents is it starts really when the moment their son or daughter starts walking, is to first always promote your child to be great in whatever endeavor your child may do. But also make sure that you play a role in balancing out your child's personality, keeping them grounded and keeping them humble. Because in Ezekiel Elliott's case, from the moment he touched the football at 7 years old, if you saw that, you saw greatness on the field. And so when he, at a young age, would come home, or when he was with me and Donna, we never talked to him about how great of a football player he was. A matter of fact, we didn't really talk about football that much. And when I say that to people, it kind of shocks them. But the reality is Ezekiel becoming one of the greatest football players in Ohio State and having one of the greatest rookie seasons in the NFL, playing for the Dallas Cowboys, it's only a bonus. It's only a bonus. This is not a planned thing. We didn't plan for him to be a football player. You know, my goal and my plan for my son and my children are to give some type of positive contribution to the rise of civilization. You know, playing football, that's just a bonus.
Right. Oh, that's good. That's good. At this time, with everything that's going on, is there anything that you are encouraging him with? Is there any type of advice that you're giving him, because he has a lot coming at him? Some people think it's fair, some people think it's unfair. The investigation was questionable at best, and so there was a lot of things that transpired within with you know, when I say questionable, I'm saying you know, the witness said this, and then her friends kind of the domestic violence friend kind of came back and said no, she set that up, it wasn't true. Is there something that maybe you're kind of even giving him in the aspects of you know, one of the things I tell my son is like, hey, if you smell like smoke, then you've been around the fire. But then also there are situations that people may just, you know, can just legitimately set you up in. And this seems like that was this particular situation. But still his character is coming under question. Is there any advice that you're giving him to say, hey, listen, son, this is how you navigate through this?
Well, I think, to answer that question, is that I haven't really given him a lot of advice, because Ezekiel really has been prepared for this moment. I raised him. Me and Dawn raised him to respect all women. I didn't raise him and talk about women. You got certain type of women that are good. You got certain type of women that have bad intentions. I raised him to believe that all women were queens. They should be respected, and you should never put your hands on a woman. I've been with his mother for going on 28 years, and Ezekiel is 22. And before Ezekiel was born, and in the last 22 years, he's never seen me and Dawn in a physical fight. A matter of fact, he's never been around me and Dawn, and we have had an argument and been upset at each other for over maybe an hour or so. Now, if we were, he didn't know it.
Right,
because that's just the natural process of life. Two human beings trying to become one. However, I'm the first one. If I thought or knew my son was putting his hands on a woman, I would have personally put my hands on him.
Right.
So my son, who is an imperfect human being, is a victim of success. What people don't understand is that when you're a high-profile athlete, and it didn't start with the Dallas Cowboys. It started at the Ohio State University. There are a lot of liabilities that come along with being a high profile or celebrity. When you hear rumblings about money and tapes and things being sold and blackmail, it starts giving you an idea of what's really undergirding this situation.
We got about 50 seconds left. Stacy, I want you to finish your point.
And so what my son is going through, he's going to learn life lessons that, you can tell him all day. You can tell your children all day, this can happen, that can happen, do this and do that. But, he's young and he's a grown man. And I'm not going to make any excuses for his failures, and he won't either. He's the first. I know for a fact Ezekiel doesn't feel comfortable about his character being questioned. But one thing I do know is that the cream always rises to the top, and he is the cream, and he will learn from this. And America will one day see that young man that we saw running around the shoe, scoring touchdowns and doing great things off the field in the community.
Hey, Stacy, thank you so much, man. That was well said. I wanted to also kind of correct myself. I said the investigation was questionable, but I was more specifically talking about the credibility of those that were accusing him was questionable. So, but was not a knock against the Columbus Police Department or the investigation of the NFL. But Stacy, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, absolutely. I think.
And the name of the other parent that does what I do is Jim Perry.
Jim Perry. Perfect.
I don't know why I split my mind.
Hey, thank you, my friend. And again, you guys are listening to Real Estate Stocks and Jocks. Again, my name is Obie Stillwell. Give me a call with any of your real estate questions. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this weekend. Bye now.